Silver King's Hard Enduro. Alright, we're lining up, getting up on this deck. Let's hit this thing off. What's up, guys? I'm Trailbound Chris, and this is my race footage from the main race. You can see this starts us off this Enduro cross section. I love taking that log ride. Reminds me of the trial stuff that I've been riding a lot lately. Makes it fun to that going slower on something is actually a little bit faster than just smashing through those tires if you got the balance. So happy to do that line. This is the same Enduro cross section as the Prologue that I put out previously, and that set our start position for this main race. So I didn't have the best start. I didn't have the best Prologue. I ended up 34th, I think. So I'm back in the 23rd row, which kind of sucks because this race is kind of notorious for bottlenecks, and you know, you want to be as far forward as you can. So it definitely helps if you can get far forward and get a good start position. But you know, it is what it is. So you can see we're out in some deep forest. Good amount of kind of hard single track getting us started, and then we're going to get into a good slippery hill climb that'll help separate everyone. But yeah, I really like these starts. It's like a 4-person start. It just makes it a lot more enjoyable of a race. It doesn't feel like a hare scramble. It feels like more like an enduro, like you're just out there getting after it. You start catching up to people, you know, as you can see here. This first couple people I've seen, and you know, I'm already like 5 or 10 minutes into the race, so pretty cool. That I really like that start. It's not as much pressure as a normal crazy start where you line up elbow to elbow with people. So yeah, we're just off on a trail ride. You know, try to push pretty hard. I wasn't really thinking too much about conserving energy, just because last year I tried to conserve energy and it just ended up being so much shorter than I expected. I got through it a lot faster, so I'm just kind of going for it here. Not pushing my absolute hardest, but also not trying to conserve. It's just these hard enduros, you know, I'm trying to figure out that balance. It's going to be different for everybody. The better you get, the more fit you get, it just changes things. You always got to keep your eyes open for passing lines, because you can see there's a lot of people ahead of me, and I'm going slower downhill than I'd like to be. I feel like I'm pretty fast downhill. I've rode, you know, mountain bikes in Santa Cruz when I was living there a bunch, so I feel pretty comfortable getting a little sketchy. But you can see I'm still back in a little train of people. It's a little tight on the side hill, so I don't think I'm gonna make a move here, but I probably should have, because you can see it's starting to get steep. And yeah, just kind of ran into some guys. I'm gonna fix the GoPro here in a little bit. I just wanted to show as much as I could of this section coming up. You can see there's just people scattered everywhere. This is a pretty darn steep hill. As you can tell by the Stanley steamer right there. Yeah, I already overheated the bike. We're very early on in the race. Yeah, this is a steep one, but it's actually decent traction. If this was raining, we would have been here for like an hour. So I'm just glad that it was dry enough to be able to keep moving. There's my friend Trevor. He's an Idaho local. I like to do a lot of hard enduro riding with him, but unfortunately he was steaming his bike same place as I was, but unfortunately for him, he blew a hose on his Beta. It's actually kind of interesting because the Beta has like a second little nipple coming off of the radiator, and that's for like the thermostat or something, and it's different than the KTM where you can't just replace the hose. You have to like replace the hose and then cap it off, and I think the cap ended up giving him a problem. He ended up putting a plastic water bottle over it with a hose clamp, and then he ended up giving up and riding down the mountain. But honestly, it's a 6-hour race. I feel like he could have rode to Napa, put a new hose on, and then and got back after it. He wouldn't be in the standings, but he still would have got more of his money worth. This is a very expensive race, so kind of take advantage of riding this cool area. But yeah, it's a bummer that he got cut out so early. So that was a steep one. Alright, we're getting into Milo Creek. This is where I made it last year in the main race. And you can see it's just flowing way better than last year. Last year it was just a train of 100 people moving in a Disneyland line pace, one person at a time. But if you get moving, you can actually ride through this stuff. And it's pretty fun. There's some good technical little hits. I'm really thankful that it's drier this year because you can actually hit stuff with momentum. I feel like last year it was just so slippery that you couldn't get moving really. You would just spin and push, spin and push. But now you can actually use some skill to get some momentum and try to get over things and kind of hit them. It's still pretty tough, you can see how choppy it is. It was definitely a lot better. I'm running the Mitas tire. I've got the EF07 140 double green gummy. This guy's telling me I'm in 6th place right now. But yeah, this Mitas has been hooking up awesome. I love when I get a chance to run this tire. It's a really soft tire, like JX8 style tire that a lot of people run all the time, but ooh, that was Eli, he went down. But I tend to run the hybrid gummy tires like the XT454 Mitas that just lasts me so long and I get so many hours out of it. Whereas these ones, you get insane traction, but they do wear out faster. But the 140, I just love that size. It's so big, so planted, and yeah, it just makes you feel like a hero when you get traction in places you don't think you can get traction. Unlike that, I don't know what I hit, but went down like a Grom, so just pushing up this thing. Just battling up this stuff. There goes Tristan Hart. So he's #1 pro. You can see him just scoot by. This is the end of Milo's. This is where people were getting destroyed last year. I'm gonna get screwed up here because I forgot about a little rut and I didn't give her enough juice. See how slow I'm going? I just barely get over the first rut and can't make it over this next one. So yeah, that's a pretty sketchy side hill right there. You can see me just sliding down this thing and trying to restart, get reset up. And now you hit it with enough juice, you can just cruise over that 140 hooked up on the side. This part was like tough. If you guys got up this by yourself, props to you. I wasn't able to do it from that stopped position. You can see I'm just like barely getting up it. I think if I would have hit it from the bottom, held my momentum, if I had the energy to kind of just keep going all the way, but I ended up teaming up with Kendall, I think, maybe Kendall from Montana. He helped me, and then I helped him up. It was definitely a pull your bike type of situation here. You can see I'm just grabbing that tire, dragging him up. It was a good dugout rut, or route, I guess you'd say. Ooh, got a power dent right there. Got high centered on my pipe. Did put a Freshie FMF pipe on here for the race. I tend to do that. Usually my pipes are pretty beat up. I blow them out as much as I can, but for the race I like to treat myself and get a Get a nice fresh one on there. I feel like you get a little more bottom end in there, and it just makes the bike feel good. This one got me. I don't know. Man, that log is like diagonal, slippery. I just didn't quite give it enough. And I start sliding. I got the wheel over here, so like I'm over it, but you can see I'm just falling backwards. And I trapped my bike into a really poor situation there. You can see Kendall just got past me right there. He almost did the same thing as me. You can see me just hanging out and watching, but yeah, I'm on a waterfall here, guys, and you can see that root or stick or whatever. Will Riordan's getting past me right there. He's a pro. So how the pros work is they've got their own loop. Silver class, the A's have their own loop. There's Alfredo Gomez. Pretty cool to see the top European riders coming over here. Billy Bolt was supposed to show up, but he ended up getting hurt, and he had to sit this one out. The Alfredo Gomez came, so that was cool to see him handle that. Look how easy and effortless he got over that. Alright, Colton Haker moving by me. So what I was saying is that the gold comes in and out of our course, so they've got their own extra hard sections, and then they'll jump back in and they'll kind of link back onto some of ours. So it's pretty cool because then you get to see the pros, see them ride some of the sections, but they're still challenged enough to where it's a hard course. I think like maybe 50 pros. There's quite a few pros. I think 50 of them entered, and maybe I think 10 were able to finish the entire course. So that's saying a lot. The course is hard. Usually the pros are finishing in record time. So really like this format of having separate courses for different people, and just the silver class gets their own course, bronze class gets their own day, different course, and then the gold, they get the extra hard stuff. So it might, it gives motivation too to maybe bump up to pro someday, so you can ride that extra hard course, something to look forward to. But yeah, this is all the silvers, so the A course, look how steep this crap is. Oh, this tire's hooking up good. I was getting really good downhill braking. It was just like tracking down. It wasn't just sliding. Sometimes the tires that you have, and they just like work so well, and you're like, whoa, this thing works good. And that downhill traction was like something I haven't really noticed before, getting on like other tires, and I was just like really impressed. It felt very controlled. So yeah, we're getting into this shaly rock section. Unfortunately, my GoPro doesn't last much longer than this, but there was some really gnarly shale rock sections that we had to struggle up. But yeah, didn't take the time this race to change out the GoPro. Trying to keep moving on these races and get through it as fast as I can. I ended up 9th place in the A class, and pretty happy with that because there was a lot of people in this race. There's 240 people in the silver class. That's insane. Stoked to be doing pretty decent. I want to keep improving, getting better. Really fun race. The best Silver Mountain race I've done.